everyone. Welcome to episode 45 of Rubber Down. We're back. We've been off. Yeah, we're back. I know, Binny. Wow. Binny missed the classic and title because he was too far in Spooky Island or wherever he was and back at work. But, brother, how you been? How much racing has gone on as well, just from your point on the couch and social media?
Yeah, mate, obviously I spent a few days up at Spooky Island and then back at home, back at work. So back on the grind of working every day. But man, like every day you're coming home and there's some sort of Speedway news or Speedway going on.
Yeah, that's it,
Can't imagine what it was like for you being on the ground all over the place. So, yeah, it was really cool. Obviously the end of the Power Series and then obviously moving into the Classic and then the title. So
Yeah, that's
cool.
it. It was pretty full on. I wasn't on the road for the Power Tour. I was up at T-Bar for that type of stuff, and I got sick as a dog. I had some bacterial viral thing. I thought it was like the worst case COVID ever. It was a rough drive home, but then so went home. Even had a bit of a night in hospital, or Arvo in hospital with it. But then come good, just for the President's Cup. Headed down there, and man, Avalon is one of my funnest places. I don't know why. It's just always a really good atmosphere. And I swear, every time I've been there, it's put on good racing. And I can't fault it. Everyone's like, oh, it's one lane here. It's not. I'm like, well, I haven't seen that shit. This is awesome. So, and you could even say that from when you went just recently with around Fireball and Max's race, eh?
I feel like Avalon is just... It is like a bull ring sort of environment. Like the crowd is like right over the top. Like
Yeah.
It fills up. Like it's
Yeah.
not a massive venue. They're not the biggest venue out there. But I feel like every time you go there, they get a decent crowd, and it always looks like it's full and booming. Which I feel like the crowd is one thing that makes an event good. If the crowd is really there and really into it, it makes the atmosphere around the place even better. And nothing better than winning in front of a decent sized crowd and making it seem like it's well, it was a big event this time round.
Yeah, it was,
but
bro. Massive.
like
The biggest.
I feel like their weekly shows would even be like a decent crowd and a decent atmosphere. So
Yeah, for sure. They got Geelong and they got a lot of areas if you're a Speedway fan around there. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of today's episode, of course, our massive partner, Eliminator Raceway, all our content is brought to you by them. Eliminator race wings are Australian manufactured with recessed rivets for extra strength.
Manufactured with 6061 T6 aluminium for lightweight and strength. Sprint car top wings, dished and flat, along with front wings.
They also have Formula 500 wings now available.
Eliminator race wings available Australia-wide.
BHR Fabrications in Brisbane, Par Motorsports in Melbourne, 16 Industries in Sydney, Sprint Car Parts Australia in Perth, and Peter Radford in Tasmania. All right, and just because I haven't had time to change the ad, Sprint Car Parts Australia is now not with Eliminator Race Wings in Perth, but now you can get your Eliminator Race Wings in Western Australia from Racing Tyres and Accessories. So not Sprint Car Parts Australia. So just want to touch on that before we move on. Yeah, Binny, so let's get straight into it, mate. On the ground, President's Cup once again. It felt like all the big dogs are in town. J-Mac was there with the A1, and I feel like straight away eyes are on the A1 at that moment because it's like, is this the last week? We'll see you with it. And J-Mac hasn't, and the team haven't gone really well on the road and at Avalon this year, but man, they turned it on and dominated the President's Cup. Like, got the lead from fifth, and it was just again the experience and the laps rose to the top with James McFadden winning and Carson Macedo a strong second, and the rest were nowhere near to be found. One thing I will say, the week kicked off and it was a big buzz around Jock Goodyear's livery. The black and gold Jock Goodyear, that thing straight out of the gate, it had people talking. I think they sold a crap load of merch. Like, I mean, not a crap, I mean a shit ton. Like, a lot of merch, and everyone was buzzing about it. And it really emphasized how important this week is, and also like I think it raises a bar in like I think more teams might do it now of like, hey, it's classic week, make it special, make it a big deal. So that was cool, and it was cool out of the gate. Another thing was seeing Ryan Timms in action for the first time in the Jack Lee ride. Now he was not. He was like, yeah, the car was good, the driver sucked at Avalon. So from what you've seen at Avalon, mate, what were your thoughts on the President's Cup?
Yeah, a few surprises for me. One was Parker Scott.
Yeah, for
Really
sure.
sort of
For
showed up
sure.
and
Yeah.
showed some speed early on in that feature. Yeah, bit disappointing for Timms. I feel like he had a lot more to show.
I agree with that. And it is
where-
a track where he has never seen anything like that besides Tulsa, probably. And he's like, yep, you're
Yeah.
not wrong. So,
Yeah. But yeah, J-Mac, and as you said before, rocking up with the A1, I feel like it adds 10 times more pressure than just rocking up with your normal car. And I feel like ever since they got that one, they've felt that pressure, I feel.
I don't know if it's felt. Like, these, you can't, like, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know if it's felt. It's just, I just don't think things are going right for them. Like, they've been close and had podiums, and it's like they were building towards Avalon. But, man, like, he definitely, before we get to the title, he had a car to win the title. And I think got a bit unlucky with a few calls and just track position at the same time. So, but yeah, and I did say laps and experience rose to the top. I did not mention that Kerry Madsen, first night in the current car, got third place too. So they're guys that have done a million laps on tricky tracks and technical things. So we'll go through the top 5 at Avalon Raceway, just before we get to the big stuff. So we'll just touch over this stuff and the new stuff. So James McFadden 1, Carson Macedo 2nd, Kerry Madsen 3rd, Jock Goodyear 4th, and Tate Frost with a good top 5. So that, for me, Avalon is always a really good event. And it's like, if you got the fans that are there that are starting their week and they're sending it, or you just got the diehard Avalons that are like, nah, we'll probably go to the Classic and miss Borderline. Now let's get into King's Challenge. Now, this is my first ever King's Challenge I've been to. So everyone was like, oh, really? It's your first King's Challenge? I'm like, yeah, well, I've been here now. I went there for Speed Week. The track didn't blow me away, is what everyone else said it would. Like, oh, it's the best, it's this. And I'm like, okay, I think it was very hooked up that night. And then again, we had a similar track where it got super slick in qualifying, like super technical on the fence. And I was like, oh, yeah, here we go. Like, this is intense. And it was. It was like every lap you're like, here he comes. And there was I think there was 2 wrecks in qualifying because it was hard. So you got 50% of the field where the teams are saying this is a silly track for qualifying. And you got the other half are going, yeah, it's super technical. It's like cream rises to the top. And it was like, you could see like that vibe of a lot of guys playing with their setups. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, the track's going away real quick. But then they reworked the track and it was hammered down all night. And it was one of those, okay. But kudos to Lockie McHugh and Nick Speed. The 7 was a killer all night. And then Ryan Timms showed a lot of pace, and I think he enjoyed that night. But like I said, the track was like halfway. The cushion was halfway off the wall. So it was a very hard track to race on. But I do think that they were working towards the Australian title through Speed Week and King's Challenge. Like, we really need to get this track right. And I think they hit the money on the Australian title last night. Like, it was even though rubber came, it didn't affect the race. It only probably made it better that you had to find it, get it, and then lap cars plus where the rubber was. It was like rubber in the middle, whatever, right? So, but the King's Challenge, it was a great crowd again. The top 5 there was Lockie McHugh, Ryan Timms, Kerry Madsen again with the podium, Luke Storer, great night for that team, and Cole Macedo, top 5. So it was like probably the biggest field King's Challenge has had for a very long time, because a lot of guys didn't miss it because of Australian title laps.
Yeah.
Like people boycott that just because they're like, don't want to drive out there, don't want to wreck a car, and we want to save for the Classic. But it felt like this night was like, no, we all going.
Yeah.
One big wreck I took away from that was Mick Sellers. Poor, that was rough. Brenton Farah got hooked up coming out of 4 and kept his foot in it and like T-boned, and it was like a pretty gnarly wreck that it's like one you don't see a lot of. Like, you know what I mean? You don't see that and you're like straight away like, oh, is Mick all right? And is Brendan all right? But yeah, King's Challenge, did you watch it live or the replay of the feature? What was your thoughts on that style of track and the results?
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know. That track doesn't. I don't know whether it's just I haven't seen it in person, but like watching it live, I don't know. Like,
see what I mean? I was there and I'm doing the
Yeah.
same. It's such a hard place to gauge of and to explain to people the size, the shape, how it races.
yeah,
It's not that I'm saying it's bad. It's just its own place. I will say it's got the third best pits in all of Australia. Guaranteed.
yeah, okay.
It's got concrete strips for all the drivers on, and it's like nice grass for the teams work on. Awesome.
Yeah, right.
So like
Yeah,
I would
it's-
say like a Motorplex, but like obviously not $100 million. But same
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, it's a very different track, and you can see why it is so unique. And I think, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, watching it, it's just very, very different.
It's so hard to explain. Like I finally seen it at its full form at the title, and I was like, cool, I get it. But it is you got to survive there, man.
yeah,
I think that it really separates cars and drivers real quick.
Yeah.
Where I think a lot of tracks might carry a bit of momentum and we can all do it, like type deal. Not we, I don't drive it. I couldn't even get around in iRacing. But anyway, yeah, it was a good King's Challenge in the way of seeing who's who, but then it got hooked up all night and it was a bit of a
Yeah.
So a lot of teams were just ready to go. A lot of teams left early, straight headed to the Classic. Now, before I get into the Classic, Binny, it may nearly the best Classic I've been to, besides some of the stuff that went down. It definitely wasn't the best Classic. And I'm not saying drivers crashing and stuff. It's all the stuff behind the scenes that people try not to tell you about, but the point system, the Carson Macedo deal, the Ryan Timms issue with him not being allowed a lap and then medically not being cleared, but then it was okay because they rule checked it and he was still going to get a time. It was like there was some moments of cluster, right?
Yeah.
And the hard bit was it was like there was a lot of discommunication between all people involved. So like teams rocked up, no one pulled a pill draw, they were seated already. And I'm like, hang on a second, how is the Classic not pill drawed? Like I don't know if any other driver, from all the drivers I spoke to, and I spoke to a lot, like I said, do you pull a pill? And they're like, no. So no one pulled a pill. So I'm like, well, and they seeded it. They tried to put like, I get what they tried to do, but I mean, it's supposed to be the Classic. Like, it takes no prisoners, and if you draw 1 or you draw 99, well, you'll last. Like, not last and get seeded last with another good guy. Like, I don't exactly know. This is where I couldn't get straight answers about it, and it was really frustrating me, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm like, did anyone pill draw? I don't think so. But then they didn't even seed it or randomize it in front of people. Drivers turned up to driver's briefing, and I seen them all just get handed a qualifying sheet. That was it. Bang.
Yeah.
So straight away, I was like, huh? Okay. Anyway, and I get what they did, but I still don't. Me as a diehard going, it was supposed to be the hardest race. Do you think Knoxville Nationals, they seed? How okay, in 2 years, when we got $100,000 to win, how do you seed 15 World of Outlaws drivers? Plus 10 high limit drivers? Plus, Jock Goodyear, Lachlan McHugh, James McFadden, Ryan Newton, Brock Hallett. How do you do all that?
Yeah.
Like by stats, the Aussies are nowhere near the outlaw drivers because of races and wins.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to have to go. Because I don't know how they're going to do that because it's supposed to be the best of the best at that point. Anyway, that's me just raving on there. But do you get what I mean? It sounds a bit confusing, yeah?
Yeah, it does.
Like it's
Still,
just that was one. And then the Carson Macedo issue that everyone was on board with. The commentators even said it that he doesn't get any points. He didn't get a lap. Carson Macedo raced the whole damn night thinking he had 0 points, and he was sending it through the heat races, brother. Put on a show. He was the show of night one. Drove from the B main to get in, and then I think even drove to like 10th, man. Like busted his butt, that whole 60 crew. Like if he times good, he probably like wins all his highest points night one. The way he was racing, it was unstoppable. Like, you know what I mean? He was passing everyone. Anyway, they finished it out, but Brock Hallett and Matt Eagle, what a race. Two of the guys, only ones running a different wing. The right sideboard looked real tucked down over that right rear. Right rear. And then Brock was 12th to first. I couldn't tell you the last time I heard someone do that at a classic prelim.
Yeah.
Or even lately this year, besides maybe Newton going 20th to second at Tolma, but that's second, not a win. Or Day in Plex going 28th to second and not winning. Or did he win that night?
No, he didn't win.
No, but see, that's what I mean. Like, got all that way and not get it. But anyway, there's a lot of guys that you don't really hear that nowadays. Going to the rear or mid pack and winning it, especially the classic. And Matt Eagle, hell of a night. I honestly thought he had it till he tagged the war late, and then Jock Goodyear again, strong, solid third. Madsen again had been success. It's like a third, a fourth, and then Max Guilford, great drive again, great start to his classic, and I think he really has showed people this trip again. Well, from the Sydney, the Power Tour, maybe not Toowoomba. He's not. I don't think he's a fan of T-Bar, but it was really cool. But the overshadow, the Macedo drama fled into night two because it sort of got risen again with the Ryan Timms issue, right?
Yeah.
So Ryan Timms does the exact same thing, doesn't pull a lap. Oh, sorry. Well, mind you, Carson Macedo didn't pull a lap because he blew a drive line and nearly destroyed his ankles. Right, he didn't crash. Ryan Timms, on the other hand, had a little rollover. They go to push him off again as because everyone's under the assumption you need a lap, and he was just going to roll around, putt around. Medical do not clear him. Yeah. From what I heard, I think it was not a concussion thing. Maybe you know what? I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to say why because it's not my job. I know exactly why. But anyway, I just know it was not concussion related. Anyway, it was BS. I thought he should have been racing from what it was. Yeah. So he's not allowed to race just for that bit and then gets cleared 10 minutes later, guys. He literally gets cleared. And then it's all calm now. Because they're like, oh, wait a second, he gets last place points. And so then everything starts going, well, what? Like the commentators have been saying, he doesn't get a lap, he gets 0 points. And that was from night one. So the commentators were under that assumption too. But so was everyone in the place, the teams, the drivers, push. And this is where it comes to, okay, so either no one's reading the rules really good, like teams aren't looking at them, or like maybe these big rule changes. Same again at driver's briefing. Like, don't just assume or something. Like, I know, like, humans are lazy. We don't read shit. Or we assume that the rules are the same. But if something like that happens, okay, maybe at driver's briefing we go, hey, guys, just to remind you, we have changed this year. These 3 rules are different. Okay? I'm not telling them they should do that. I'm just trying to say make their job easier or make it so we're being warned again. So anyway... Then during night 2, bro, they're working out Carson Macedo's points. Like, so they give him points. Like, he's qualifying he should have had. But then technically night 1 was ruined. Like, everyone was wrong. I'm not here to bag out the officials or anything. Because I know how hard they work and I know them. But I'm just saying it was wrong. So, what happens if he doesn't qualify at A main?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I just think so. As I'm like, the classic still went good. We'll get into the night too. As long as moving forward, that like what happened, they come to a conclusion why, and it never happens again because we're going to be racing for $100,000 in 2 years. You can't have that happen at $100,000 event.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just, even next year 75, even this year's 60 for God's sake. But anyway, let's move on to night 2. That's just what I'm from on the ground, bro, and I'm trying to relate that to you because you weren't there, but also to the people listening. It's like there was so much all going on around. Now the track, I thought they did track prep at the right times at the Classic. I cannot fault the track. I absolutely loved it. Now qualifying night 2 is the exact same at Borderline. Hard. People will reckon. I think I was on the infield for night 2 for qualifying for 2.5 hours with wrecks and fences getting fixed because I think Luke Thomas has destroyed the pole because something broke on his car. He was looking like he was pulling a good lap down too. It was a pretty gnarly crash.
I remember messaging you that night because I was seeing all the crashes get posted on like Claperview's like Instagram.
Bro,
and
2.5 hours. I was on the infield at 6 p.m. and walked in at 8:30 going, oh my God, I could just sit down and eat a hot dog right now and just do nothing. I was so hungry. But anyway, I don't know why I picked hot dog because they were anything available half the time in the pits party. Anyway, so yeah, and then night 2, straightforward, looked like the Cole Macedo show. He quick time, swept everything. Definitely thought he was going to run away with it, but J-Mac just went slap, and it was like, oh man, that A1, that Napa, whew, that thing was moving. And the big surprise of night 2 was Brad Vaughan. It's like ever since Tolmer and stuff, he's been developing. I wouldn't say developing. I just think they've been getting things right as a team. And yeah, he got a really cool 3rd place. Jai Corbett, great night for that team. I think, best result for a long time. So good on the Corbett's. And then Dane King shot again. The West, mate. Like I think he even could have West is King shot best. He could have. I think he could have pushed harder than that, but he didn't need to. It looked real calm, and he had really good heat races. So I think he put himself in the best spot. But leaving night 2, I was still under the assumption Cole Macedo was going to win the Classic. I just was like, I don't know. It just felt really good, and he didn't have to get through another heat race. And I will say this, Binny, from watching him now, you said it when you were over in High Limit. He was working on the car. He does this, He was the only driver that I could see and remember, night 1 prelim, he was out on the infield at the podium checking the other guys' cars.
Yeah.
Like a nerd looking at tyres, asking questions. I don't even think any of his team was with him. It was just him. You know what I mean?
I feel like that must be like when you go over and race in America, it's a thing that they do. Because like you've been there when we've heard J-Mac talking and you've heard the likes of Brad Sweet talking, Kerry Madsen talking. They talk and you're like, how do you even know? Like, how do you know that tyre's doing that? And they're like, you just know. Like maybe it's just they've seen so many laps throughout the year. They just know, the track's doing this. It's going to do this then.
I think he was more blown away with what Brock Hallett did, like Donny Schatz.
Yeah.
And he was like, how? Like, what? That's crazy. I just remember hearing that and him looking at Brock's car and going, like, I think he was worried that if I have to be that guy, I can't do that. Like what he just did, But I don't know. I think he must work on his cars a lot because it was like he took ownership of like, I need to see what's going on. Do you know what I mean? So
it was very much cool like that in Perth as well. Yep. So,
and I will say right now, you can't tell me. We said it after Perth and how good he went, and we were correct. Going, I think he's going to be awesome on the East Coast, and he was. You can't tell me that 40 and that team, or they're going to hit the ground running next year here in Australia for sure through High Limit, and I could. I think he's a top 3 car every night, High Limit, and all the East Coast again. So good on you, Highline Motorsport, and Cole Macedo. And Cole's a gangster. He's such a cool dude. Like, if you're not buying a Cole Macedo shirt, I don't know what you are. He is what you get. I feel Do you know what I mean? Like, no BS. So,
100%.
no BS. And then we'll get into the finale. Now, my highlight of the night was the motorbike entries. Oh, mate. I don't know. It's just about me. I think I grew up watching old Speedway videos. So, like the 95 titles, the 94 titles, 92, 3. Any title I could get my hands on, 5, 6. I don't think you really get them, but 7. Anyway, they just always had unique entries, either like High Limit did with the Utes, the guys on the back, or the motorbikes, and even Murray Bridge did the motorbikes last year. But this year, bro, the motorbikes at the Classic, and they had the smoke and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a scene. And sometimes I'm like off driver entries because I'm like, I just want this to hurry up and like and start. Let's go, boys. Like, I'm keen. But this one felt really good. And I do think the Classic lineup, the feature, was stacked, brother.
Yeah, except for the one motorbike that got stuck. I can't remember which driver
It was King Shot.
but
It was King Shot. It was King Shot.
they got
I remember.
stuck, and I was like, that was funny as he was ripping a burn out.
There's
and I'm
always
like, keep going.
there's always one. I remember at Murray Bridge too. The guy was like arcing up before they even started. He goes, I can't get my Harley over that. Give me a shovel. They're like, mate, you can't dig it. It's the track. He's like, oh, well, I can't get it over it. What am I going to do? Like, oh, funny. But no, it's cool. Thanks to the motorbike, whatever, the guys who did that. And you know what, though? Walking to, like, past the drivers about to do it and go on the track, bro, so many of them were, like, giddy schoolboys.
Yeah.
Like, so happy. I remember J-Mac, like, he even did the Ando sign. Because he was pumped about it, and like they were just honestly looking at each other with such smiles on their face, like this is cool. So I really think like that wasn't just for the fans, and also the drivers had so much fun and enjoyed doing that. You know what I mean? So that was something that you don't get to see when you're in the crowd, but I can relate that to you or take photos or videos, and I'm like, man, these guys are having a ball, you know? I think TK loved it. He was like, yeah. Cole Macedo thought it was wicked. He even come out with the double piece. I thought that was gangster, not holding on. J-Mac loved it. Hallett was all about it. Some guys were like in serious focus mode, like too focus mode. But some of the guys were just loving it up, man. So, but yeah, I want to have your thoughts before my thoughts on the Classic feature. Go, just give me your vibe. Watching on Claverview versus on the ground, I'm telling you, it must be completely different because I've seen some shit.
Yeah, like I was watching it from home, nice quiet environment. So
Off it that you weren't there. I'm so upset you weren't there. Even shout out to Kimmy. Kimmy was off you big time. Not being there.
Yeah, I know. I copped a lot of messages of abuse not being there. So I apologize to everyone. I will be there next year.
Yeah.
I think Kim Salah's even going to try and sneak me into the Mick Salah hauler if I need to.
I can fit in a tire. I can fit in the tire rack. I promise.
But yeah, obviously going into the feature race, it was. The names were like, as you said, the field was stacked with names, and you sort of had your guys that you were like they're going to run away with it. You had your Jock, your McFadden, Cole.
I really thought it was Cole's, but I was like, I think this is Jock's. I just had a vibe.
I was playing it very smart throughout the weekend. When people are asking me who was going to win, I kept on just messaging C Macedo, because then whichever Macedo brother won, I was right. Because both Carter and Cole.
Very good there, Binny. Two birds.
Yes. Yeah, no one picked up on it. So you're a bit of a Dumbo, Code.
I think everyone knew you were talking about. There was only one guy at the front.
Whoa.
Well, there was. Carson was in it, but he was deep in the field.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I was pumped for the feature, and then it got to, was it lap 9 or lap 10?
I don't know, bro.
And I was bummed. I was seeing.
Tell me about it, bro. Tell me about it.
I was seeing McFadden out of his car fixing Jock Goodyear's car. I was seeing Jock Goodyear swearing and carrying on because he was out. And then it got to the restart, and some of the guys were back in their cars, and we're restarting, and I'm like, what the heck's going on?
Tell me about it, bro. Tell me about it.
But then I don't know. I don't know whether because I was over in Perth for High Limit to see the Monty boys have such a rough trot over there till they got to Bunbury and then sort of started to turn it around.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I was excited to see him win because of that. But yeah, I was pumped to see Aaron Reitzel up there. I think he drove that well. Was he the quickest guy on the night? Probably not.
I don't know. I don't know. That
Yeah.
thing, once it was going, blimey.
Yeah,
I
don't
only
know.
think Cole Macedo was the only other guy that was going to drive it how Ricer was driving it.
You don't reckon Jock would have been there?
I don't know if he was going to drive it like that. I know he would probably be the next best to, but I mean, it's how Ricer was committing it to it, and it was like every lap, I do not care about tearing this bitch up.
Yeah.
And that's why he got that gap, because he would be in 3 and 4. Wow, through the hole. Nearly looked like he's going to ride it like a skateboard, whip it around, go. All the other guys were off it, like, and you could see they were slow because they're not on the cush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're just off it, like, that's gnarly.
Yeah.
Jock, maybe, because he is a highline runner like that. But for me, watching McHugh run 3rd and 4th, and I'm like, well, he ain't doing it. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, mate, and then I'm like, Cole would have just, like, sent that somewhere. Or to me, I'm like, if Corey Day was here, maybe. He's another one who just would have ripped the hell off that. Or
Corey Day, Buddy.
Maybe. Buddy, yeah. That was the one guy I really missed. I'm like, man, if we had Buddy here, this would have been like a real hard classic. I do think, though, so much happened that I think things need to be really looked at.
Yeah.
From team and fans. Now, I have learnt some things on why there's no work area and why they do want it. Now, for the teams who travel and work their absolute butt off, and Kerry Madsen's car is a perfect situation of a work area, he would have been in it for less than a minute or two to literally get the Nerf bar. Like Dane King shots that night off. He didn't even have to race, bro. He didn't do a lap with it on, so his tyre was still wicked. It wasn't Dane King shot tyre situation in High Limit at all.
Yeah.
And that's what he was so frustrated about, because technically the officials can't help him, because then it's like James McFadden helping Jock, but then Jock that situation did happen, so why can't you help me anyway?
Yeah.
You know, and I get it with sportsmanship. I get what James is doing. But pretty black and white, you can't do that, or it's not supposed to go on. Now, yes, go.
Wait, question. I thought that if you broke your belts, you were done.
Well, once again, the rule does state somewhere, I don't have it written here, but I know if it's under open red, that's okay, I think. But under yellow, if it's for a safety, if you break belts for safety at all and can prove it, like you're on fire. So
Yeah.
I honestly think if you break your belt at all, it's over. Normally.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Unless it's like pure safety. Now, open red, I'm not sure, because most drivers don't even get out of their car anyway. So I know, but I have seen an open red drivers take their helmet off and stuff like that, which I would assume is similar. If you take your helmet off, you're disqualified.
Yeah.
But what I get with sportsmanship straight away, I didn't think about that rule. I was like, man, that's awesome. I get what, because James felt bad. He was running second or third at the time, and then they, you know, and that was all wrong with Jock's car too, is the drag link. So it's like a bar that goes from the steering arm down to the front end, and that was like a skateboard ramp now, which is, you know, helps if you're driving. Now they restarted. I get why they restarted, and don't get me wrong, if they didn't restart, I think only like 10 cars would have finished the classic, because it was a pure graveyard. Which I've never seen at Warrnambool like that. I've never really seen a graveyard like that. But I honestly think Aaron Rice still would have had something for him, because his car just was like, went from here to here when he was in third, and he got him so quick. And even it was cool seeing him on the restart when he was in third. He revved past second and first to go, oh, like I'm here. Like on the yellow. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's gangster. I see what you've done there. But the race was still, after we got past that and we moved on from the devastation of our classic dam, mate, what Aaron Reitzel did was awesome. And to see Luch come out and celebrating the team and, like you said, what they've been through over the last few years at Monty, that hasn't been great.
Yeah.
You know, and now they win that, and I think they're going to come back to Perth on a high and going to have a good, I reckon, a good swing at some things over there. So that's awesome. It's just awesome, you know. Great people, great team. Luch is one of those guys that gets around, has a yarn with everyone, loves to stir up. So that's awesome. And now your top five again was Aaron Reitzel, Lockie McHugh, Brock Hallett, Dane Kingshot, and Jock Goodyear still got back to fifth.
Yeah.
Right? So
Good
I
drive.
definitely think it was a classic for Cole, Jock, or J-Mac to win, but I'm not the guy that says Aaron Reitzel wouldn't have won without it because, man, I watched what he did and it was impressive.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. I will get back to that work area. I think these big races, what are we doing? There's enough concrete at Premier. I know they do say, oh, but then there's this many pits and this many crew on the field. They're all out there for qualifying. More. 24 teams can fit out there. We see it literally in the safe zone around the concrete. And then you got to think about them. They go, oh, but you want 3 crew. No, you only need 2 because half the time the other teams help them out anyway. Look at Perth Motorplex. There's like 3 teams on one car. That's what the sport's about. You know? Australian title, I would see the same. But I don't know. I just don't know. I think maybe we've been, again, treated with so much of Perth that we see it and it's like, well, why can't we? Like, don't get me wrong, Perth's work area is absolutely amazing. It's a drag strip. It's perfect. It's safe. There's walls around it. Like, it's literally come in. Teams can't get there. So, I don't know. I think they'd have to definitely trial it at Premier before you can't just run a work area of the Classic. It'd be chaos. I get that. If they're trialing it and they see success with it, okay. You know, but I don't know. As the fan in me wants to see it, and then for how much the teams are putting in and working their ass off to get there. Like, you know, Perth teams travel a day to get there. The Queensland teams 20 hours. Mate, if you can have something so little worked on your car, why not? So that's my opinion. Do you yes or no to work areas? What's your call?
I'm a yes, but as you said, they need to be. Yeah,
they need to be trialed. They need to be worked out, not just one weekend we throw it at it.
It needs to be, clearly instructed. Exactly what you said before with rule changes and stuff like that. It needs to be, and if they've got rules for it, like time limits and stuff like that, you got to stick to it. Doesn't matter who it is, why they're in there. It's
I know what you mean with that one. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well,
because fans aren't silly. The fans get their own timers out, mate. And if it's carrying on, they go, hey, it's been 5 minutes, bruv. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I remember a scenario, I'm not going to state when, but I remember a timer being up on a big screen and it running out and the car still being on the work area.
Yeah, we're all like...
And everyone's looking around, but they know which car's in the work area, and we're like, it's definitely going to stay there.
All right, let's move on, Mr. Knight. Okay, so let's get into it right now, Binny. The Australian Sprintcar title. Now, this was the end of my huge trip. And I'm going to say, going to Borderline, I was like, okay, Borderline, what are we going to get? Please don't be hooked up. Give me some dust, baby. I think the first night, it was still hooked up, but 2 blokes absolutely stole the show. Jock Goodyear and Ryan Newton. Wow, what a drag race. You sort of forgot the rest of the boys in the race, and maybe because it was a bit still too fast and no one was really passing. And it's 1 point a bloody car to pass. What?
Yeah.
Frustration. Why? Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, those two putting on that clinic. Clean as race, and I've seen in a long time. Top and bottom. Thought Newton was going to get away with it after he got back by Jock, but then Jock just got that bottom. So good. What was that like on Club View, that watch? How was that?
Yeah, it was cool. Mind you, I was like a 70-year-old man holding his ticket for like the Melbourne Cup with his horse going out in the lead, and then losing the lead and then going back to the lead. And I'm like, come on. I picked this back 8 months ago. Come on.
Just to tell the listeners, Binny, I'm going to try to find the episode in a reel or whatever. You did pick Ryan Newton to win the Australian title at Borderline and go back-to-back at T-Bar. I think while Ryan was still in America racing. You just said, yep, I'm calling it now. And I was like, well, that's pretty early.
I think it was the end of the supercar season I called that.
Maybe after Ryan was ripping at Port. I don't even know. It was a while ago. But you were super confident on it and went, yep, it's happening. And I was like, are you sure? You're like, no. And it nearly come to full circle with the Australian title. And maybe you just won you too early. Maybe you go back-to-back after that. I don't know. But, what that team did this weekend, changing crew chiefs at the hardest time of the year, and then what they improved from the President's Cup to Australian title. Wow, mate, night and day, and good on them. Two of the youngest. I think it's the youngest combination running around the pits right now. 21 and maybe a 22 and a 21-year-old. I think. Crewing and racing a sprint car. So what they did this weekend was amazing. So let's turn it back to the prelim night at the start. Newton went quick time in his flight, and Dane Court, I believe, came out and slapped the time down and went overall quick time. And the heat racing got underway. Yeah, go.
Dane Court did that at Avalon the night I was there, and I was like,
he did too. And we're like, whoa, how good's that?
I was like recording, and then like, you know, when you record and you're like, oh, yeah, this guy's going to get a quick time easy. And then I sort of wasn't paying attention to him. And then he goes,
you dog. You should film everyone. Boo.
No, and then you hear quick time. And
that's because you're a rookie around these parts, mate.
Yeah.
Dane Court, I believe, I think he has the track record at Mount Gambier.
Yeah, right. There you go.
I think they did say something like he had a really good time or close to a track record. Anyway, he's just Dane Court's qualifying efforts have been amazing this whole down here trip. So, and then he even had McCulloch drive for one of the nights we were down there. So I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, so they go quick time. McHugh looked fast in his flight as well, but he blows a motor. That was the mega thing. McHugh does one lap, blows a motor. Nearly didn't have a lap at all. So then they were running the rest of the Australian title on the last motor in the truck. So that's scary. Yeah, it was their last motor in the truck, apparently. So, but the heats go ahead, and everyone, all the big dogs sort of move in the same spots because you're starting out at 8. So Newton goes, I think it was 8th to 4th. That was when Max Gilford had that mega crash. Massive, right? Him and Jokers. But then you've seen Lockie go 4 spots. I think Jock did 3 or 4, and then J-Mac did 3. So it really came back towards the qualifying time. And then the boys pretty much won their heats off the front because they're the fastest times and whatever. So it pretty much set it as, McHugh, Ryan and Lockie were front row because of their time trialing efforts plus their racing, right? Starts off good. Newton has a good lead, and then that battle between him and Goodyear were crazy. Goodyear got the better of him, got the win, but again, it's 1 point. Then there was a late open red because Ian Madsen had a really big crash. Now, I did hear things that he was a bit hurt. I haven't followed up with that yet, so I'm not going to say what he's hurt from. I haven't heard anything. I actually meant to message him today, so I'm going to reach out to him soon. I forgot. I knew I was going to message him before the pod just if I could let everyone know how he's going. But, it sounded like he was a bit ouch. I don't think it was head stuff, so that's good because of his history. But, I won't say what I think it is because I'm not going to just start spreading what it is because I don't exactly 100% know. But, so we had an open red and, being around some of the front of the teams, they're all saying they're calm. Your car's here, your car's there. It's 1 point, bro. It was all good. And, the top 5 for prelim was Goodyear, Newton, McHugh, McFadden, and Pesca had a ripper run. He was like one of those guys, like real quiet, but achieving big time, so Pesca did really good. I think he did really good in his second round of heats because, he ran second to Newton in one of the heats, but I think he started back. But anyway, night one, but it was still fast, Binny. the track was still like fast, and that's why I think everyone on social was saying, "Oh, boo, no." Like some people, I don't even know why they were saying it. It was like, what were you watching besides the battle of the lead anyway? It was awesome, but there wasn't much passing around the rest of the field. But man, who cares? You not see the show the front two put on? Oh, okay. After your watching of night one, who was your honest pick to win the title the next day?
Uh, you had to go Jock. Like the
Was it
way
because he
drove.
won that battle against Newton, do you think? Or was it more stuff he did for you?
I don't know. I think it's just it's hard when you see Jock up front at one night, and it is a 2-night show. You know he's going to come out the second night and be just as good, if not better.
It's like their team, like Hayden Kendrick and Jock and that team. It's like if their base is good at a prelim, they're going to be there. They don't fall off.
Yeah.
You know? Is that what you're trying to say?
And and then obviously I don't know. I like the McFadden team. I get along well with like Sheldon and all.
Oh, so
all
now you're
those.
playing favoritisms, bro. What type of this? What
No.
type is this?
No, let me finish. But I sort of wanted to see him go back to back.
Yeah.
And then obviously there was me wanting to gloat about getting it right 8 months ago, so I wanted Ryan to win.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of different things, and then you obviously want to see the New South Wales boys do well.
Yes,
The ones that have travelled. But it's hard not to pick Jock after, as I said, a prelim night. If he goes well on a prelim night, he's coming out just as strong the next night.
Yeah, for sure. And I honestly thought after the first night, I was like, it's going to be Jock, Newton, or McFadden. I don't think anyone really wowed me. Like McHugh went back that little bit, and then you never really seen his nose point forward. Now, he did do Ripper in his next night heat and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I just think that those three really stood out to me versus the rest. And that didn't change really because the feature for the last night, it was those three, and fourth was distant.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if he made it. No, he did. Oh, he did. So you talked about Sydney guys and that then. I want to give a big shout out to Daniel Sayer. He made his first ever classic. I think he was the only Sydney car to do it. Besides, you can class Ian Madsen and Kerry Madsen, but that's like, a current Sydney team that's still going. And he made the Australian title feature. So wicked. Yeah. Good job, Daniel, and the Aussie racing team. That's my one shout out there. Now, big moment for the Night 2 Classic Classic title was the Jock Goodyear, Daniel Storer, wheel hitting his top wing. Wow, that could have changed the whole Australian title, and it nearly did. Oh, man, when I didn't even see Daniel, he tagged the wall, and I'm thinking it's all good. And I'm watching Jock because he's like the highest points guy, you know what I mean? So I'm like, how's he going? Is he going to pass more cars or not? Because he was ripping. And then you just see this wheel and you're like, oh, that's going to the middle of the track. And then, boom, and you instantly see the wing like change. And I'm like, oh, no, first off, I'm like, did that hit Jock through the wing? Because it was dead on. And I'm like, I reckon he might have got lucky by hitting his chassis rails maybe or something because there was a whole hole through his wing. Like, the bottom of that wing was hitting on his head. So, and then you see him pull the mechanical, and I'm like, oh, no, does that mean he's going to have a mechanical flag and then he only gets these points because that sucks for his title? And I'm like, oh, I hope they let him push off because I think he'll be right to hold his spot or maybe drop a spot and be okay. And then I think he might have dropped one spot or not even and held his spot with a banged up wing, and that saved his title because he got to start front row still. So that was a massive effort by Jock in that, and scary. And Daniel Storer, I don't know how that thing didn't rip and tear, dig in and go. So that was, yes, Binny.
So that incident actually reminded me, you're not going to remember it, you're not a Supercars fan, but back in 2006 up at Bathurst.
I'll be back, mate. Yep. No.
Up in Bathurst in 2006, Paul Dumbrell hit the wall and his tyre came loose and actually hit Lowndes' windscreen.
Right. Windscreen. That's crazy.
It hit his windscreen, like his front windscreen. And I remember him coming into the pits, obviously shattered, like you couldn't see, like you could not see.
Yeah.
Back then, it was the old glass windscreen still. And I remember them getting into the pits and the boys kicking the window out with their feet, sitting in the back of the car, kicking it out. So like that's what it reminded me of. I was like, oh man, like, yeah, really bad sometimes, really bad.
Anyway, you can get into the feature. Jock and Ryan starts front row. Jock gets the better of him on the outside, and then Jock Goodyear led every lap of the Australian Sprint Car title, which was awesome. The car was hooked up now. They did take rubber in the middle. Then that led to James McFadden and Ryan Newton battling pretty much a good chunk of that race. Now, there was talking points that James passed him. The officials put him back, and then he did pass. Like, they put him back, and he thought he passed longer. Now, there are two occasions on my race pass, race monitor, where he is in second spot. I don't know whether that means he passed him coming out of 4, took a lap, and then the yellow comes out, and they don't count that. But I don't know the exact ruling on that. But if you go on race monitor, there's second, back to third, and then another second again. So I don't know. And that was James, I believe, on the infield fault. That was a real crucial point. Like, hey, guys, like, I thought I had the spot. And James's car, mate, was... If he didn't have that bunch of lap cars at the right spot, I don't know what would have happened. But the top 3 did finish, you know. Jock crossed the line and the other boys are coming out of 4. So it was a really good Australian Sprint Car title. And if you look at that full wide photo, is that going to be our racing for the next 5 to 10? Depends how long J-Mac wants to keep at the top or keep going for. But those young men there, we call them young. They're younger than us, brother. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, plus you add in maybe a Parker Scott who's 19.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you add in your Tate Frost. They've still got legs. Your Dumsney boys, they're still young. Like, you know, this crop is awesome right now. So, yeah. Do you think that is the next 15, 20 years we're looking at?
I think so. Yeah, I think they're the boys that are going to dominate our sport over here for the next few years, unless they do a McFadden and a Kerry and Ian and they get rides full-time over in the States.
That's their goals, brother.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but like...
I mean, I'll be watching them every day. I don't give a shit. But
yeah, you get a shorter Australian schedule. You got to remember, I don't get the luxury of traveling around as much and seeing all that stuff, but
I know what you mean.
I
know what you mean.
And like working full time, like it's hard to sit there and watch the American sort of side of things. So
but that's why you got me. I just text you all the time.
Yeah, I know, but I don't like that either.
When I get on my flow and it says one person watching, I go, get off, mate. Get off. All right, so the top 5 for the 2026 63rd Australian Sprint Car title was Jock Goodyear, James McFadden, Ryan Newton, Lockie McHugh, and Todd Mule. That guy is always a smoky, and another great weekend for the Todd Mule team.
Yeah. Todd Mule, he's the one with that. Is he the one with like the truck as their mule? Is that him? It's like a little mini truck.
Yeah, I think it's like a little plumber's van.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, I think it's them. It's them or Stoyer.
Yeah.
But I think it's Mule. But it is a little gangster thing. I have to get a photo of that next time.
I've got a photo of it. I don't need a photo from you, mate.
Well, send it to me. All right, so how much, before we get into it, how much time do you have left? We don't have much left.
Probably about 15, 20.
Killer. All right, so anyway, before we move into previews of stuff coming up, what was over the whole week of Presidents to Australian title, what were your, Binny, 3 BK Racing performance products moments? They could be bad, good, or anything that stood out to you.
Number 1,
Yeah.
The safety of the cars over those couple of weeks.
Safety of the cars. Please
Um,
continue.
So, for example, the Max Guildford crash, and I've seen so many angles of this crash, and it
Yep.
was massive.
I feel you.
And I feel as though the safety, and it's amongst all motorsport now, the safety on anything is immense. And the guys that build the chassis, do all the safety equipment, all that sort of stuff, that, like, hats off to you.
So one of your moments was how good Max Guildford was that he wasn't hurt after how big that wreck was. Is that
Like,
correct?
yeah, and just over the 2 weeks or 2 and a bit weeks, whatever it was, just to see like the drivers that did walk
Safeties.
away from
Okay.
big crashes, walk away and be okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Number two, number two actually didn't happen in the 2 weeks. It's happened after the 2 weeks.
Bro, it's been like 3 days. What are you talking about?
No. So it's actually a post from Facebook, and it's Kinzer Claridge. His response to a fan that called him a spud.
I know what you're talking
And
about. And good on the kids for standing up and having a laugh.
yeah, and Kinzer's sort of bit back and been like, yeah, I'm going to get a potato sponsor for next year. Like, I'm
Where
gonna
did
be
he
the
write that? Because I want to take a photo of that. Was that just on
I'm
his
pretty sure.
socials?
I'm pretty sure it was on his socials, but I just found that to be funny. And I don't know, a lot of shit gets said on social media that is sometimes not the best. And there is a lot of people out there that talk a lot of smack and don't think it gets to people, and it does.
Yeah.
But for him to cop it on the chin and just sort of make a joke out of it, I thought that was brilliant. And then number three for me, just Jock winning the title.
That's
I
a
think
moment
that's,
for you.
yeah, that's cool. Like, second title for him. I just think it's a cool moment for the team. They put in the hard yards. Like, they have travelled.
You're not you're
Yeah.
100%. I think they would be at this point, besides Perth guys coming across here, maybe beat them because of the time up in Toowoomba and
Yeah.
then back down. So maybe they're the most travelled team. They'd be damn close. There'd be another few on their heels, but you're right. They put in the most maybe travel this year, and look, paid off.
And then I'll add in an honourable mention. The Salad team for driving home. I think it was after the Classic. They drove home after the Classic, reloaded the truck, and then headed back for the title.
Yep.
So that's a mega effort again, and that's great for the sport. And to see them doing that, they love their racing, which is exactly what we're all in it for, because we love our racing.
Okay, with that, you might as well add one more to make it to the top 5 BK Racing performance moments of
I
the
don't have a
classic
fifth
weeks.
moment.
You don't? Well, we'll move on to mine. Thanks, Binny. Alrighty, so number one, mine aren't in order of best to worst or worst to best. Number one moment for me is, number one. The first moment for me was Brock Halt's drive prelim night. Wicked. It was from 12 to 1st. I don't think I've seen or heard anyone done it. Awesome for that team, and Brock Hart is a weapon around Premier when it suits the car and stuff. Like when it's not, I don't think hammering on the fence. That thing's like a weapon. Number 2 for me, the Jock Goodyear tyre hitting the wing. Man, I thought that was going to ruin his title and change the whole title, and I was like, oh, that's massive. What's going to happen? Okay, and then luckily they got it all good and they were sweet. And look, Jock goes on to win. And then I think my final moment, and I will have an honourable one. It's a really hard one here. Is I'm gonna have to say the Newton and Goodyear race, man. It was some of the cleanest racing, and you got to think they're racing for 1 point here, nothing else. Like they're racing for 1 point. They're both in great positions already in their title runs. Like, and I just thought it was two young guys giving each other so much respect and fun out there. Even when they're shaking each other's hands, they're like, "How cool is that? That's good job, bro."
Yeah.
Like, and it was just so good to watch. And my honourable moment is man, for me, it's hard because I'm one for the rules and one for sportsmanship. It has to be the J-Mac trying to help Goodyear's car.
Yeah,
Now, I know the rules are the rules, and I've said we need to have the rules better and stricter, but man, watching that, you got it, and you just felt like, yeah, the boys. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it was for me.
And you know what? It's not the first time James has done it this season.
Probably not. The one on Dane Kingshots.
When they were fixing Kingshot's car and he went over and he
Yeah, but see, that's different rules because it's a work area.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Like you're allowed
cool.
to. But yeah, that's the second time he has gone out of his way. And I mean, especially like the classic one's probably even bigger than Dane's because Dane's, he could have just sat in the infield and said, well, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like this guy was potential like in the race and whatever. So that was my honourable moment. There was so much more you could go through, but I just think they're the ones that are right here. You know what I mean? Right there in the brain. But yeah, so they're my BK Racing performance moments of the week. And shout out to Brendan from BK. Get all your K1 race suits from there. Damn, the boys rocking around in their FIA approved, Italian made K1 suits look beautiful. They stand out from the rest. Alrighty, so Binny, let's get into some previews. I'm rocking the shirt. Maddington Toyota Sprint Car Series is back this week with the Mr. Sprint Cars Nationals, $40,077 to win. And it is one of the best fields we have had at Perth Motorplex, besides the Americans all year. And Americans are still there. Let's run through the lineup. Your new Australian champion, Jock Goodyear in the A1, Dane Kingshot, Callum Williamson, Andrew Priolo, AJ Nash, Jason Kendrick, Jake Robertson, Miles Bolger, Jason Pride, Brody Davis is making the trip over from Queensland. Aaron Reitzel, classic winner, is still there. Daniel Harding, Glenn Sutherland from South Australia. Justin Whittle is still there from America. JD Dark, Declan Minchin, James McFadden back in the 23. That'll be a heartstringer. Let's see if they change that up or not, maybe. Ooh, It's always about that. Maybe we'll have a red 23 this time. Jack Williamson, Taylor Milling. Now, this is a big one. In the Diamond Bay, number 26, Lockie McHugh. Now, you can't tell me that thing won't be a weapon. Damn, those boys will get that going. In the 40, Cody Clayton. 41, Michael Keane. I don't know why I'm saying the numbers. I'm just going to keep reading them. Ryan Lancaster, Aaron Cherkov, Jai McKenzie, Marcus Dumsney from New South Wales, Matt Eagle from South Australia, Randy Morgan from Queensland, Mick Sallett from New South Wales, Luke Oldfield back in the Pete Motorsport car that he finished top 5 at High Limited, Harrison Pete as well, so 2-car team for Pete Motorsports, Caden Manders, Mikey Green, Brad Moeller, Ryan Newton will be in the 77 S&D Motorsports. Right, so the one that he raced in a month ago or 2 months ago and ran a 4th. Everyone knows it as Michael Pickens one, but I think now it's steering to maybe Newton might get some more rides in it. Not sure there. But yeah, that's a big Barbagallo car. So that's one of the cars for the event. It's going to have Barbagallo on the side. The 79, Chris Coyle. I don't know why I've said numbers again. Tom Hopper, Corey Hunter, Brooke Newsom, Chad Pittard, and Kerry Madsen is back. In the it's a USA 95. I don't know why they're running that, but anyway, maybe he counts himself as American now. But so also SMD Motorsports will be a 2-car team. So there you go. Thoughts on that field, and who's your early winner? Binny, go. It's a 2-night show, the big one. So I don't think the points carry over. I don't think so.
Early prediction, I'm going McFadden goes back-to-back just to stamp on the...
okay.
On
losing the A1. Yep, okay. I like that. I really do like that. 40,000.
And 77.
And $77. I'd be... To say, because there's 77 in the number, I think Ryan Newton in the 77 is going to win. But I do think the Cricket Motorsports team is going to be the one to beat. They have had Perth Motorplex off tap this year. I don't think they've really had a bad round, maybe besides round 1, but they got unlucky with the coil situation.
Yeah.
I just think, and they've had a good trip east. Morale for them. I think it's their best trip with Dane on the east, like result-wise. Last year they had a DNF at the title running 3rd, and then the Classic, they just wrecked it. A lot of shit the last year. So this year, top 5 and a good title. I think they're going back even more confident that we're going back to our home track to send it. So
Yeah.
I think Dane Kingshot is the one to beat. And I think if he doesn't win the Barbagallo, he'll win the Cricket Boys. There you go. Boom. He wins
Yeah,
one.
okay.
We won't, we're not going to touch on that. We're not going to touch on the Crickies because we got a whole weekend to watch, and then we got Wednesday and Cricket Boys. So I'm not going to touch that at all. All right. So I do think we're going to have. My call is. All right. You ready for a call? The top 5 will all be within.
Yeah,
1
good one.
second. 1 second of each other. So like.
1 second.
So they're going to finish from first to first will be 1 second only. That's it. First to fifth. So all the cars will finish within 1 second. So like if Jock wins, crosses the line.
Second intervals.
No, even close. So if Jock wins, right, and his lap is a 14-second lap, the 5th place will be a 15-second lap. You get me?
Oh, okay.
It's going to be a second. All the top 5 are going to be within 1 second of the leader. That's how close it's going to be. I think it's going to be a close race, a lot of battling. The leader will get away because there's going to be so much battling between 3rd and 5th.
Yeah.
Like, because they're going to be so close. That's my call. Sorry if that made no sense to anyone. I knew what I got to. Does it make sense now?
Yeah, a little bit, but still not.
Sorry, listeners. Okay, so let's get into it now. Binny, this is, everyone says, the busiest time of sprint cars has finished. It's not. The World of Outlaws are literally starting this weekend as well. How good. Now, we just had the 360 American Sprint Car Series Nationals there. Tyler Courtney, after 6 months after his horrific injuries at Eldora, got back in and won first night. Brady Bacon, I think, won tonight. I'm not sure who won the other night, but anyway, Tyler Courtney and the BC7 BC, won the Gator Nationals for the 360s today. So that's good. Tyler Courtney looks ready to go. I think it was a great start for that team. I know a lot of teams run the 360s, but man, like maybe getting in a slower car and, getting the ghost out of the way, and he looked ready to go, Binny?
Yeah, I think it's got to be hard, like, to jump back in the car after that many months out. And I think he even said in an interview he didn't expect to be on the podium. He was just like, I'm just wanting to get in the car to get some laps.
For sure.
So yeah, that's cool. And I've got a question for you actually. How many NOS Energy cars do you reckon we're going to see this year?
Well, I think there's Courtney, Basin, and Sheldon just released it. Oh, and is Wyndham still one? I haven't seen that yet.
Like I keep on seeing all these liveries pop up, and it's all NOS Energy, different liveries. I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah, I don't know if Wyndham is one yet because he was the one with the 55, and then he brought the NOS over to Jason Sides Motorsport.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure there, but yeah, you're right, dude. Get a Red Bull car going, boys, or something. Where's that? Like, I know NOS owns the space, but.
I won't complain though. NOS Energy, if you want to change this. To
yeah. Have you ever had a NOS Energy?
No, I haven't.
Oh, wicked! It's like I would say, and I love my Monsters, just a little bit better than a Monster. 100%.
You reckon better than a Monster?
Yeah, the no sugar NOS, give it to me all day, bro. 100%.
So I've actually got a mate that went
you know I love my Monsters.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I had a mate that went over to America a few years ago. This is like a few years ago now. He actually went over there and tried nearly every energy drink he could while he was over there. Surprisingly, he came back with a heart condition and can't drink energy drinks anymore. But it's like, energy drink.
So did he like the NOS or no?
Yeah, he did.
I will give a shout out to a sponsor, Steve Loader, you know, Flipside?
Yeah.
Right, so I tried the pink Flipside there. It was like something candy sherbet or something. It was pink and aqua. I'm like, oh, here we go. Let's see what this is. Wicked. Tastes exactly like cream and soda, but like obviously an energy drink wise. So I'll give a shout out to that. That's the only Flipside I've ever had and I enjoyed it. So give us a shout out, Flipside.
I am a die-hard Red Bull fan, and I
Yeah, but
always
that's a
look at
that's a different beast, Red Bull. You're either
but
Red Bull or nothing, bro. We're going off track
I,
here with your energy drinks, man.
I always look at the flip sides when I go into like 7-Eleven and stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna try one today, and then for some reason this always ends up in my hand.
As you already go to grab the flip side, you're already drinking the Red Bull. You're like, oh. So anyway, yeah. So there's a million NOS cars, and it's NOS Energy World of Outlaws. But so the racing starts this weekend. It does say February 4th on my race pass. So I'm not sure if that's our 4th or whatever, but it should be our. It's a 4-day event. No, it's a 4-day event. So
Our Friday.
it's either tomorrow or our Thursday. It starts.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's 4-day event. They're Gator Nationals. So normally Larson does go there. Sometimes Christopher Bell's there. I haven't seen them be nominated yet. Ryan Timms will definitely be there. I've already seen that. Spoke to him while I was here. There's so many guys that are going to be there. There's like even some high limit guys go there. I think the only big name high limit guy that won't be there, I'm going to say, is Reitzel and Rico, because I think Rico's still getting TSR obviously up and running. I don't know that. I haven't spoke to him, but I'm just assuming. But a lot of teams have gone there to escape the snow. The snow on their socials have been crazy, and now they go to Florida. So it's a 4-day show at the Volusia. And then they literally have like a month off and go and stay at Volusia for 2 nights and really start the outlaw season. So this is just a thing they start with, and then it's like, oh, let's reset. I don't know why they do it, but
it's the prelude to the season.
Legit, it's like a big weekend. Starts in Florida, where it's the only place they can race because it's snowing everywhere else. And then they kick off back at Volusia for 2 nights, and then end up at Talladega short track. And then 2 tracks I've never even bloody heard of. Magnolia Motor Speedway and Cannondale Speedway Park. Never heard of it.
That sounds wicked.
Magnolia sounds like you should get some like satay chicken there or something. And some dim sims. Oh, dim sims. Oh, that was so good to try them. Anyway, move on. But yeah, so that's the Outlaws. There's been really cool liveries that have been released. Like the ones I can think of from my head are Donny Shod's Casa Macedo. Gravels is different, but I think it'll look the same on the track. Spencer Basin's obviously NOS when we've seen it at the World Finals. Sheldon Hudson Shields looks pretty cool. I don't think we've seen anything from Roth if they've changed the car or not. I don't know if they've released that. Garrett Williamson's looks pretty cool. Bill Rose is pretty simple, like clean and simple. But yeah, we're not going to do a rating on them until we see them in action. That was Binny's call, and I respect that. But yeah, I just, after seeing, Jock Goodyear's efforts, JMS efforts, like heading into the Classic, and then I do think we need maybe more teams doing it, but maybe bump up the prize money and really make it hard. Like, maybe make more things to why they should win. They need to be at all the events. They need to be at the Flying Horse on this date. They need to be, try help your event but give them more back. You need to have a merchandise shirt with your thing on it. You need, you know what I mean? Like, really show that you've put a lot of money into this design for the Classic week. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Because I want to touch on the Classic in that situation.
Yeah.
Frustrating. Anyway. We'll leave it at that. All right, guys. That's today's episode. Binny, thank you. I know you got to go. We're going to be back next week reviewing Perth and the World of Outlaws. Ready to go, and then midweek mayhem racing, and we'll touch on all that. Jibby jab. Thanks, guys, and of course, remember, Binny, who do we like to thank for our podcast?
Eliminated Race Wings
and
BK Performance.
BK Racing Performance. Thank you.
Oh,
thank you for all you guys' support, and I will touch on all you diehard listeners that stopped me at the Classic and that and said, you need more pod episodes. It's awesome. Thank you, and we will try. All right, thank you so much. Keep watching and sharing it, and that supports us for free. Cheers, guys.